How you doing, guys? Thank you for coming back to another episode of Cobra TV. So now we've got trailer number 2, Fight. And today on Cobra TV, we're going to take a closer look. Now, in the past, we could take a minute and a half trailer and make it 20 minutes long, but this time, since we already know the game looks really super pretty, we're not going to stop and smell the flowers, so to speak, but there is a couple of things in this trailer that are amazingly new to us. And even though there's not a whole lot and it's only a minute trailer, those things are pretty big. All right, so let's go ahead and jump right into this here. Okay, so we still have Trade and Survive left, and those are the two that I'm most interested in, how they're going to make a trailer and show off the trading and show off the Survive. I imagine the Trade, I'm really hoping that we see a little bit more interaction in the space station and in the trade stations with some NPCs possibly. But who knows? And the Survive, I can imagine the Survive trailer showing off the toxic environments, the hot planets, the really cold planets, and the player is probably just crafting and trying to get shelter a lot in some of these environments. A lot of people think that Survive means, like DayZ Survive or H1Z Survive or 7 Days to Die Survive, but I think it's mostly just environmental survival. But there is something in this trailer that does surprise us, so maybe they could still surprise us with the Survive. Okay, when the trailer comes in, now throughout most of this, we are going to point out only the facts, except for this one part, because it's on my wish list. Now, this is not a confirmed feature that I want to say, hey guys, check this out. But it's something that's on my wish list. But if you look over to the freighter or capital ship that's sitting over there, you can see a definite opening with a blue outline. But the blue outline reminds me of the blue outline that's around the space stations, and a lot of us, including myself, really hope that some of these freighters or capital ships are enterable. And it does kind of look like a tractor beam, just like the space station. And what purpose could it serve, though? It could be another form of exploration, landing inside a freighter ship or capital ship of a NPC faction that you are indeed favored by, and exploring the inside, or maybe even further trade with these freighters and capital ships. We do know the AI ships can dock with the freighters, as it's stated in the IGN video where he talks about how he sees the ships going back and forth from the space station to the planet, from the planet and docking with the freighters and watching the economy unfold. But it is something that's on my wish list, maybe for, faction wars going inside, causing a little bit of chaos, or I said in the past, my wish list using these giant freighters as a means of a taxi by stowing away inside and seeing how far their powerful hyperdrive can actually take you when they jump. But again, that's speculation. Let's go ahead and move on. Now again, we're not going to go frame for frame and talk about every frame. It looks so beautiful, yes it does. But we're not going to stop and check out every little thing. Pretty cool looking ship though. But I want to go ahead and start getting into some of the new stuff. We have crystals that are now growing off of the asteroids that are floating around in space, which I think is pretty cool because, when you're shooting at a rock and you're getting resources from it, it's awesome to see those resources instead of just getting resources when you shoot at a rock. Just the little things. It makes it a little bit more believable. So definitely a really cool scene of a freighter ship. This freighter ship looks amazing up close. Unlike any freighter ship we've ever seen, the design, how thin it looks, and it definitely looks like he's attacking it, and it looks like he's shooting those 3 orbs that are sitting right there. Kind of like how we seen him do in the IGN first gameplay when he was attacking the freighter ship. What an amazing freighter. Just an awesome shot that I wanted to show with a cool looking ship and the phase beam in action. Now I see a lot of people talking about the voice chatter coming across the comms in the ship, and what it's actually saying is hostile ships approaching. So some people are speculating maybe there is a way to communicate with the AI, or maybe there's a way to communicate with other players, but I really think it's an audio alert system that is attached to your ship, but we also hear it when he's on the ground as well, and then it says hostiles approaching. So I think it could have something to do with your ship and your suit or your multi-tool. In my opinion, it's an alert system, and that's pretty much it. Now, in some of the earlier trailers, we did hear alien chatter coming across the ship's comms, but the example in this trailer, I believe, is just an alert system, but it's pretty cool. Here is the amazing part, in many ways, so many ways. Okay, so we know there's no missions in No Man's Sky, and we're seeing this here. It says attack ships, rescue cargo freighters, attack ships remaining 7. Then it's got an icon that looks like a flag and a skull on it, a human skull at that. So that could be a pirate symbol. Maybe they're fighting pirates here. Now, we're not sure if this is an actual mission in the game, but we do know that we can join in these faction wars and help out your faction. And this could be an indicator on how well that faction war is going, but it does look like a mission, rescue cargo freighters, but definitely something we have not seen before. Also, what's pretty cool to note is up in the left-hand corner, these shields are a little bit different than what we've seen in the past, and look like they have the ship logo on the shields because he's in a ship, so that's a pretty cool little touch. And then we got that red logo again, and I'm not sure. It looks like there's a line connected to it, and it could be connected to, that's either a freighter or a capital ship, or it's pointing to the planet. I'm not entirely sure. And then we get to this awesome structure or whatever, and it looks mechanical. Maybe it's something to interact with. There, it kind of looks like the Atlas. I'm sure it's not. It has nothing to do with the Atlas, but it's probably something that you can interact with, just like the alien monoliths. And then he's on this amazing looking planet fighting some sentinels. Some flying ones and a dog looking one right there. And then there's something smoking in the background. I'm not sure what that is. Awesome looking two-legged giant sentinels. And this one right here doesn't look like you're safe in the water since it's standing right in the middle of the water. So watch out, guys. The water's not a safe option like he did in E3 2015. So I think this is a good time to point out the multi-tools that are in this trailer, how awesome they look for one, and number two, the cool little feature that's on, it seems like all three of these multi-tools, it shows a switch between what looks like mining and weapon. I think that's an awesome touch. We get some new alien creatures. So that about does it for this trailer. There wasn't a whole lot, but the things that were in there were kind of big. It was short. A lot of people were mad because it was so short. But just think, guys, and two more trailers and we'll be playing the game. I mean, these are small little teaser spots to kind of grab the audience's attention who have already not jumped onto the hype train that is No Man's Sky. So, 2 more trailers. Just go ahead and brace yourself that these other 2 may also be short as well. But it's exciting that Sony is doing these 4 trailers to kind of grab everybody's attention. We get to see something new. We've seen something new out of every single one. So that's also good. We do take away that with this trailer that there is sort of missions in the game, even though we're not looking for space chickens, like you said in the past, but we are fighting attack ships as they are trying to destroy a cargo freighter that we are trying to protect. So that's pretty cool. What's also really cool to note is, you know, when the Sentinels were coming after him and it said hostiles approaching, you know, the Sentinels are kind of, you know, they're the good guys, or they're supposed to be, and you know, our system is telling us that they're hostiles. Well, I guess they're acting hostile if they are attacking you, but we do know that the Sentinels were seeded by an ancient race of aliens, and there's a reason why they are a bit out of control, and they're there to protect the balance of the universe. So, with that said, Sean Murray let us in a little bit of that lore a long time ago. Going to be interesting to see how that part of the lore does play out. But guys, stay tuned. We have got a lot of videos that are going to be uploaded within the next 7 days. One of which where I'm going to be talking about this new debacle that Hello Games is now facing with the Supercode and this Dutch company, Genacap. It sounds ridiculous, and I don't think it's as bad as, you know, that article made it sound, but we are going to talk about it a little bit. It sounds like worst case scenario, Hello Games or Sony, somebody's going to have to just purchase a license in order to use the Supercode. But to me, it sounds like a little bit of jealousy from the other company who owns the patent to the Supercode. But we are going to do a video and talking about that Plus, we got a really interesting interview coming up, and no, it's not with anybody from Hello Games, but it's going to definitely be interesting. There are also factions that are popping up all over the place on different websites. These are not in-game factions or whatever. These are player-made factions outside of the game, and they know that it's not an MMO. They know that they can't play together, at least not at launch, not the original version that Sean Murray has for No Man's Sky, but these people are like little explorer groups that are going to work together to try and map out as much as they can and explore it under the name of their faction. And I think that's really cool, and I want to get a lot of leaders of some of these factions on to talk about their goal, talk about their mission statement, and what they plan on doing in the game with their factions, even though they're going to be alone. It's like sending an astronaut to the moon, and then he's taking pictures and sending them back to NASA. So it's kind of like along those lines. And there is a lot of role play within those factions who are going to be pirates, or there's one faction that's going to be declaring war on the Sentinels. So then there's that. And then I'm going to be doing something different on this channel starting on Saturdays. Maybe not this Saturday, but it's going to be kind of a shock to the channel here. So I want to go ahead and talk about what that is, plus a giveaway on this channel. It's not No Man's Sky, but it is going to be fun, and it's free. But stay tuned for that video where we're going to be talking about all of that stuff, and there are so many more that are going to be uploaded within the next 7 days. As always, I love you guys. Thank you so much for coming back to Cobra TV. I will see you guys on ExploreNMS.com and in the next video. Until next time.